A little bit late, but there we are. Today has been a busy day. However, let's get on with things. We can only learn to love by loving. We can only learn to love by loving, and that was by Iris Murdoch. Iris Murdoch. So here we go with our reading, which is called Use Your Spiritual Compass. So let's go. Mark Twain. Everybody heard of Mark Twain. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. And Mark Twain, and Ernest Holmes in this thing called You says, the secret place of the Most High, capitalized, is not a location, but a state of thought, an interior awareness, is spiritual faith. And that was on page 112 of This Thing Called You. And this is Reverend Kelly Robbins, who says, your spiritual compass helps you find your own path. If you let it, it will lead you to your authentic self and help you recognize your real value. Oh yeah, here we are. In his book, Power versus Force, by author David Hawkins, and if you've never read that book, it's worth reading, Power versus Force. He discusses different levels of consciousness and how each level affects situations differently. In our lives, we notice that our actions and our results reflect these different levels. And you really have to read the book to understand more about what she's saying. You know, he's talking about levels of consciousness in human beings, from real low to, like, you know, the spiritual masters, the saints. And most of us fall somewhere in between there. He says Reverend Kelly Robbins says, we can look at our fears and how we challenge them in the same way as when we notice our actions and results, how these affect the different levels of spiritual awareness, if you like, consciousness. When we operate from a consciousness of fear, we create from a very low level of consciousness. We might try to push through obstacles with force driven by fear and a need for control. So you'll find, and I'm sure you've read and you know, that people who are at that high spiritual level never force anything. They just know. Just like Jesus never pleaded. He just knew and he claimed. Or we can face our fears with a mindset of love, openness, and a desire to know the truth. When we act from integrity and honestly seek spiritual truth, our spiritual compass guides us. By checking in with it, we can gently adjust our direction without force. Your inner guidance system is directly connected to the divine and is unwavering in its loving, gentle nudges, showing you your next step. If you feel any limitation, this is a signal to turn within and center on your divinity. You may center with meditation, journaling, a walk in nature, or a prayer, and in the case of science of mind and unity and so on, an affirmative prayer. Use your spiritual compass to bring yourself back to the universal presence within you. And once again, it's really telling us we need to do our spiritual work. Do some meditation a day. And going back to Eckhart Tolle, who, I think I talked about it yesterday, who said, one breath in which you truly concentrate on that one breath and nothing else is in itself a meditation. You don't have to spend hours in meditation. Seriously. Some people do, and that's great. It's great for them, it's great for the world. But you don't have to do that. Start small. Start with something that you know you can do. Start with 5 minutes. If that's too much, start with a minute. Start with 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Where all you do is focus on, say, your breath, or a candle, or whatever it turns out to be. And every time your mind wanders away from it, just bring it back again. And when it wanders away again, bring it back again. That's what we do. We all get intrusive thoughts. And the secret is not to latch onto the thoughts, it's to just acknowledge them and let them float by. And if you do happen to catch one and move along with it, when you realize, stop, move back and center again. It's really that simple. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yes, it can be. So I trust and value my spiritual compass, checking in with it frequently throughout each day. I pause and let God guide me. You just want to do the last one. I pause and I let God guide me. Or Spirit, Source, the All. You pick your word. There will be a midweek meditation either happen today or it's going to happen tomorrow. We are going to come up with a new series of meditations. There's a block of, I think it's like 4 or 5 or 6, but they will all be interconnected, and we'll do one each week. And I'm sure, I think, yeah, it's going to be Danielle Johnson who does that. And then, of course, tomorrow, Reverend Lisa 9:15, me somewhere around about 5 p.m. And until next time, I am knowing for each and every one peace, love, and harmony. And so it is.